The day that we shot Zach's captain's picks was the most stressful day of the entire history of this show.
Thanks for being patient with me. There's no easy way to say this, my friend. It's nothing you did or didn't do, because you're amazing on and off the course. I would love to take 30 guys, and I cannot.
Okay, Zach, I understand. Wishing you obviously good luck and hope you guys go over there and win it.
At 49 years old, Zach Johnson has built a reputation that goes far beyond his 2 major championships. The Iowa nice guy image crumbled in Rome, revealing something darker underneath. 5 golfers felt the sting of Johnson's leadership style, and what connects them all is brutal. Johnson's decisions as Ryder Cup captain exposed a pattern of exclusion, rigidity, and control that alienated some of the best players in American golf. This is not about childish rivalry. This is about power, about who gets left behind, and about a captain who chose his friends over firepower. Start with Keegan Bradley. The 2023 Ryder Cup snub remains one of the most painful moments in recent golf history. Bradley had everything going for him heading into team selection. He won twice during the qualification period, including an emotional victory at the Travelers Championship. His statistics spoke for themselves. Bradley finished 9th in the FedEx Cup standings, putting him firmly in elite territory. He had proven Ryder Cup passion, famously keeping his suitcase from the 2014 loss at Gleneagles unpacked for years. The grief never left him. He wanted redemption more than anyone on tour. Zach Johnson looked at all of this and said no. Johnson chose Justin Thomas instead, a player who won 0 tournaments that season and finished 71st in the FedEx Cup. He picked Ricky Fowler and Jordan Spieth, players whose recent form paled compared to Bradley's dominance. Johnson justified these decisions with vague talk about fit and chemistry. He claimed the intangibles of team relationships outweighed recent success. What Johnson really meant was simple. Bradley was not part of the boys' club. The boys' club consisted of Spieth, Thomas, and Fowler. They vacation together. They share sponsors. They form an exclusive fraternity that Johnson refused to break up. Bradley existed outside this social circle, making him expendable despite superior performance. The decision reeked of favoritism over merit. Johnson prioritized friendship over winning, and Bradley paid the price. Netflix cameras captured the phone call that destroyed Bradley's dream. The footage became instant golf infamy. Johnson delivered the news with corporate detachment, telling Bradley he was going in a different direction. Johnson claimed it was nothing Bradley did or didn't do, calling him amazing on and off the course. The emptiness of these platitudes made the rejection worse. Johnson mentioned wanting to take 30 guys but being unable to, as if this somehow justified choosing the 71st ranked player over the 9th ranked player. Bradley responded with grace on the call, wishing Johnson good luck, but cameras captured what happened after. Bradley's wife summed up the family sentiment perfectly. That stinks. Bradley later admitted to losing sleep and feeling devastated. He thought he had done enough to be undeniable. Johnson proved him wrong. The captain deemed Bradley unworthy of even a roster spot, delivering a professional negation that cut deeper than any competitive loss. For a player who had fought his way back to elite status, who had won twice in a single season, the rejection felt personal. It was not just about missing one tournament. It was about being told he did not belong. The irony came later. After Johnson's boys' club crashed in Rome, losing badly to Europe, the PGA of America made a radical course correction. In summer 2024, they named Keegan Bradley as the 2025 Ryder Cup captain. The man Johnson left off the team entirely was now tasked with fixing Johnson's mess. Protocol required Johnson to call Bradley and offer him the captaincy. The ultimate reversal had Johnson handing power to the player he rejected. Bradley claimed to feel honored by the call, but everyone understood the subtext. Johnson's legacy of failure paved the way for Bradley's ascension. Make sure to subscribe and drop a comment below about whether Ryder Cup captains should prioritize recent form or team chemistry. Your thoughts matter as we break down these controversial decisions. Wyndham Clark provided a different kind of criticism. Unlike Bradley, Clark made the team. He played in Rome. His complaints came from inside the locker room, making them far more damaging. Clark did not attack Johnson for exclusion. He attacked Johnson for incompetence. In late 2024 and early 2025, Clark broke the typical silence that protects captains after losses. Speaking on the No Laying Up podcast, Clark called the team environment disjointed and crazy. Clark's main issue was communication breakdown. In the pressure of an away Ryder Cup, players need certainty. Johnson provided chaos instead. Clark often did not know who he was playing with until minutes before practice rounds started. He would stand on the range waiting while someone eventually walked up to tell him his pairing. This meant Clark played actual matches with partners he had never practiced with. The strategic malpractice was stunning. Clark sharpened his criticism by comparing Johnson to Jim Furyk. Furyk captained the 2024 President's Cup team, and Clark described his leadership as awesome and next level. Furyk gave players their pairings and schedules weeks in advance. He told Clark exactly when he would play and who he would play with. This allowed proper mental preparation. Furyk treated his players like professionals who needed information to succeed. Johnson treated players like interchangeable parts in a chaotic system. The contrast painted Johnson as overwhelmed and unprepared. Clark posted a mediocre record in Rome, going 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 tie. He refused to let the narrative focus only on players not performing well. Clark shifted blame up the chain of command where it belonged. Johnson had been a vice captain on winning teams, but his tenure as head man revealed a lack of decisiveness. This friction differs from the others because it stems from professional standards. Clark felt betrayed by a breach of the player-captain contract. Players agree to give everything, captains agree to put them in position to win. In Clark's view, Johnson failed his end of the bargain. He left rookies exposed and unprepared in the hostile environment of Marco Simone Golf and Country Club. The criticism cut deep because it came from someone who wore the uniform and still felt unsupported. Clark was not complaining from the outside. He was reporting from the trenches. Bryson DeChambeau represents the ideological exile. His conflict with Johnson transcends personal animosity and touches the civil war that split professional golf. The battle between the PGA Tour establishment and Saudi-backed LIV Golf League created battle lines. Johnson, a staunch traditionalist, acted as gatekeeper against DeChambeau, the face of disruption. In August 2023, DeChambeau shot a final round 58 at LIV Golf Greenbrier. This historic score put him in elite company. DeChambeau followed with another victory at LIV Chicago, demonstrating ball-striking dominance superior to almost any American golfer at the time. His form was irrefutable and impossible to ignore. Zach Johnson ignored it anyway. Johnson not only left DeChambeau off the team, but essentially ghosted him. DeChambeau revealed he never received a call from Johnson, a significant breach of protocol for a major champion of his stature. It would have been nice to at least have a call, DeChambeau said. He noted he could have racked up points for Team USA had the system allowed it. Johnson defended himself by hiding behind bureaucracy. He clung to the PGA of America point system, claiming he picked from the top players who had merit. Because Leave Golf events awarded no official world golf ranking points or Ryder Cup points, DeChambeau had plummeted down official standings despite elite play. Johnson used this technicality as a shield. The defense crumbled under scrutiny. Johnson selected Brooks Koepka, another LIV golfer, as a captain's pick. This proved being a LIV player was not an automatic disqualifier. The distinction revealed the exclusion was specific to DeChambeau. Koepka fit the cultural mold as one of the guys. DeChambeau was viewed as an outlier, a scientist whose eccentricities and litigation against the tour made him unwelcome. The clash between Johnson and DeChambeau reflects a fundamental divide. Johnson's game is built on feel, wedge play, and tradition. He represents old-school locker room mentality where conformity and camaraderie reign supreme. DeChambeau treats golf as physics problem to solve. His ideology of single-length irons, bulk-up diets, and analytics challenges the aesthetic Johnson cherishes. By excluding DeChambeau, Johnson prioritized the PGA Tour's political stance over winning. The weakened United States team lacked the firepower DeChambeau could have provided, a fact critics were quick to point out as the team was drubbed in Rome. Patrick Cantlay presents a paradox. Johnson was Cantlay's fiercest public defender during the 2023 Ryder Cup, yet Cantlay became the source of the tournament's greatest distraction. Midway through matches in Rome, Sky Sports reported a fracture in the United States locker room. The report alleged Cantlay was leading a protest against the PGA of America regarding lack of player compensation. As visible sign of protest, reports claimed Cantlay refused to wear the official team cap. Hatgate was born. The rumors painted Cantlay as selfish mercenary disrupting team unity. European fans seized on this, mocking Cantlay by waving their own hats at him. The hostile atmosphere became Johnson's problem to manage. Johnson abandoned his role as strategist to become crisis manager. In press conferences, he vehemently rejected reports of a fractured locker room. He used aggressive language, calling the rumors garbage and asinine. The strain on Johnson was obvious. While he defended Cantlay, the situation highlighted a power imbalance. If Cantlay was indeed protesting, he allowed his captain to absorb all the heat. Johnson, who values the cup's sanctity above everything, found himself presiding over a team defined by dispute over money. Both men frequently appear on least-liked lists. Johnson gets criticized for holier-than-thou attitude. Cantlay gets criticized for glacial pace of play. The pairing created a vortex of negative charisma the United States team could not escape. Johnson's legacy is now linked to Cantlay's hatless head, a symbol of dysfunction that occurred under his command. Rory Sabatini serves as the historical antagonist. This conflict differs from the others, rooted not in administrative complexity, but in classic personality clash. The dichotomy was most stark at the 2007 Masters tournament. This was Johnson's breakout moment, his first green jacket. Lurking 2 shots behind in a tie for second was Rory Sabatini, along with Tiger Woods. The narrative that Sunday was framed as good versus evil. Johnson was the normal guy from Iowa, the underdog who prayed and played smart conservative golf. Sabatini was the brash South African known for abrasive attitude and lack of filter. Johnson's victory was viewed as triumph of character as much as skill, with Sabatini serving as necessary foil. Throughout the mid-2000s, Sabatini was widely regarded as most disliked player on tour. A poll of tour pros voted him most disliked by significant margin. In 2005, Sabatini grew so impatient with Ben Crane's slow play that he putted out and walked to the next tee while Crane was still in the fairway. This massive breach of etiquette cemented his reputation. Sabatini also publicly called Tiger Woods beatable in 2007, a comment seen as disrespectful. Johnson, along with peers like Steve Stricker and Davis Love, formed the establishment core of the tour, polite, corporate-friendly, and respectful of hierarchy. Sabatini was the insurgent who did not care who he offended. For Johnson, Sabatini represented the antithesis of what a tour professional should be. A unifying theme runs through Johnson's conflicts. The accusation that Johnson prioritized a social clique over competitive merit defines his captaincy. The boys' club refers to Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, and Zach Johnson. They share vacations, sponsors, and a fraternity vibe. Critics argue Johnson's leadership style was defined by protecting this inner circle. Justin Thomas was selected despite a disastrous season because he was a core member. Keegan Bradley and Bryson DeChambeau were excluded because they existed outside this social orbit. Johnson's philosophy was that fit mattered as much as form. This philosophy proved catastrophic in Rome. The boys' club members underperformed while outsiders were left unsupported. The long-term cost of this insularity is the tarnishing of Johnson's reputation. He is no longer viewed solely as the plucky underdog who won the Masters. He is viewed as the gatekeeper who failed. By prioritizing friendship over firepower and tradition over innovation, Johnson alienated a generation of talent. The appointment of Keegan Bradley as the 2025 captain is the ultimate rebuke. Johnson's relationships with these 5 golfers map his limitations as a leader. He could play the game with the best of them. 2 major championships and a long, successful career prove his ability as a competitor, but when asked to manage personalities, he retreated into the safety of his clique. Bradley, Clark, DeChambeau, Cantlay, and Sabatini were all left on the outside looking in. The Ryder Cup captaincy was supposed to be Johnson's crowning achievement. Instead, it became the moment that revealed his true nature. Not the Iowa nice guy, not the humble champion, but a man who valued control and conformity over excellence and adaptability. Drop a comment below on whether future Ryder Cup captains should build teams around friendship or firepower. And subscribe for more deep dives into golf's biggest controversies. Johnson's playing career deserves respect. His 2 majors, his consistency, and his longevity mark him as one of the better American golfers of his generation. But leadership requires different skills than playing. It requires the ability to put ego aside, to recognize talent regardless of social comfort, and to create systems that empower everyone. Johnson's captaincy showed he lacked these qualities. The 5 golfers who felt his exclusion or incompetence represent more than individual conflicts. They represent a pattern of rigidity that cost Team USA in Rome and cost Johnson his legacy.